everybody. Welcome to Wine Wednesday. I am here today with a special guest, Kelly Styring with Styring Vineyards. Hi, Kelly. Thank you
Hello.
so much for doing this with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to talk. Well, I love to talk to you anyway, so talking in front of others, that shouldn't be awkward.
Not at all. Well, I just wanted to drink some wine with you, and you have a couple there. So let's hear about what you got, and then I'll unveil my special reserve.
Oh, sure. Oh, sure. Since it's Wine Wednesday, I once had this boss when I actually worked for someone else other than myself and my husband. And he said, when given a choice, take both. And so I brought two wines today. The first is what we introduced last summer. So this wine's been with us about a year now. This is a white Pinot Noir that was originally called Silver Snoopy. And this bottle is still called that. That was dedicated to my dad, who was with the NASA space program in the 70s. And that was an award that he received from the astronaut corps for going above and beyond his job. And so we thought, what a fun, for our debut white Pinot Noir, what a fun tribute that would be. And then this giant cartoon dog's big lawyers came after us. And we had to change the name. So this particular
story.
Yeah, we got this like really angry letter from this sweet dog. But anyway, this bottle still says Silver Snoopy, but if you buy this wine from us today, we call it redacted. And we literally take a Sharpie and we redact the name off of it. And you can watch us do that if you want. It's an extra service. Yeah, and then it's on the back too, so we do a little redaction there too. So we call it redacted.
I think that is brilliant marketing.
It was pretty fun, actually. You couldn't make up, you wouldn't want to inflict a story like that on yourself. But what's fun about white Pinot Noir is that it's rare. Not very many people make it. White Pinot Noir is finicky. Pinot Noir is hard to make to begin with, and then to make a white wine from a red grape is pretty finicky as well. So the inside of the grape is green, and that's across all Pinot Noir. That's why most fine champagne is made from Pinot Noir as well. But it has to be pressed very lightly, and it's pressed in whole cluster, because if you start breaking the skins, then you start imparting color. Yep. So it's a whole cluster, very light pressing. Then we actually fermented it in barrels. So most of our wines go through a primary fermentation in a fermentation tank before they're barreled. This was fermented in barrel over a long, slow period of time, about 5 months. And every so often we would just go in and stir the lees to give it more of a yeasty kind of flavor, to actually get some flavor from that yeast in addition to processing, the sugar to alcohol. So it has this very pretty color, first off. Mm-hmm. And then when you taste it, it's surprising. So you expect a white wine, but it has a lot of Pinot Noir characteristics. So it has a very kind of bright cherry flavor to it. It's got some spice. It's got some interesting aromatics of like orange zest and a little like conifer, like maybe juniper in the nose. And then it has a really dense, long, creamy finish, like a Pinot Noir. So it's a pretty unusual wine at the right temperature, which I like it cold, but not too cold, because then you get more flavor and you get more aromatics. A lot of white wines we chill too cold. And this one was in the fridge, so it's going to open up. I would say in the next half hour, it's going to be so much more giving than it is now. But it's a really enjoyable white wine in the summer. You've had this one?
I have, yeah. I have had that. We bought several. It's gone now. But
so sorry.
My
favorite I have a few.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. My favorite part is that creamy finish. I love that. That's what I loved the most about it, was that it was just real. That is an exactly perfect description. Mm-hmm. Creamy finish. It just sat on my tongue and it was amazing. I loved it.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoyed it as much as I did. It's not to be confused with like a buttery finish. So it doesn't have that kind of sharp. It's a really clean, I don't know. My vocabulary for wine is not terrific. I sure enjoy it.
Terrible. Mine is terrible. I just like it.
Well, in the future, because we don't want to continue using a Sharpie marker on all of our labels, We're going to bring back this was the 2018. Yeah, this is the 18. There will be a 19, and we're going to bring back our Fearless label, which we used on our Pinot Noir blends that we did in the past. So we're going to bring that back because we think making a white Pinot Noir requires a certain amount of ferocity. And that label's got some fun, like, gargoyles on it and stuff.
Yeah, so, I like the Fearless label. Yeah, the redacted, I'll have to come get some before they're all gone.
You should, and you should come out and picnic with us. So we're doing Saturday picnics at 12 and 2:30 by reservation. We request a reservation. We'll often be able to accommodate you. We also have picnic blankets for sale. So if we actually run out of spaces, we've got a farm, so we can certainly help people get out in the fresh air. And we are pouring that right now on the flight. The other wine that I have for you, we're also pouring. This is our 2016 Signature. So Signature has been a part of our line since 2005, when we first opened. So I'll put it right up near the camera. This is what we call our base Pinot Noir, kind of our everyday wine. This is the lowest price Pinot Noir that we offer at $35. This is absolutely incredible. For as young as it is, it blows me away every time. And I just opened this one up, so it's even, for itself going to be on the tight end. There's nothing tight about it. So it's got a lot of cherry. The press gave it some notes around, I don't know, like pastry cherry, almost like cherry pie, with some kind of peppery herbs on the back end. I like to think of that more like white pepper than a green pepper, kind of a Chinese spice. But what blows me away about this wine is, for as young as it is, it's so smooth. It is so smooth and rich, and it changes across the palate, and it just, when I drink this wine, I feel almost fully satisfied, which is kind of a rare thing, right? Like, wow. And at that price point, it's just, it's flying out the door. So we're really happy it's been met enthusiastically. It's only been available for a couple weeks. So we're just getting used to.
I have not had that one.
Yeah.
But historically, the Signature Estate, I mean, our story about Styring is that, I don't know, 10 years ago, probably. I think we went up there, and we went with a driver, and he suggested that we go to your winery. We went out. Tom walked in ahead of me, and he already had a glass in his hand by the time I got in there. And he looked at me and he said, "We are buying a case." And I said, okay, because only twice in our 20 plus years together has the man ever said that to me.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? And I love Tom. You never really have to guess where he's coming from.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
That reminds me a lot of Steve. So, yeah. So we've been enjoying pouring this wine. We're also pouring, what else are we pouring? We're still pouring the Rixie Bubbly. We're pouring the Wit Reserve. So still the 15 though. We're pouring the 15.
You should mention the Wit Reserve 2015 because that's what we have.
Lucky you, because if you can't have this wine, that's the one you should be drinking.
I love the Wit Reserve. It is one of our favorites, and I have 2 bottles in there, and I was like, okay, well, I'm drinking with Kelly, so I'm going to drink the Wit Reserve.
Very good choice. Well, what are your thoughts on the taste profile at this point?
I'm terrible. I'm like, oh, this is delicious. I know if it's good. That's what I know.
Well, what I get from that particular wine, as you go, and because we designate which barrels are Signature, which are Estate, and which are Wit Reserve, which is also confusing to everyone because they're all Estate. Even this white is an Estate. So our nomenclature is becoming a little cumbersome, so we may need to rethink that. But what starts to happen, because we designate the barrels by taste, they tend to become bigger and more opulent. So bigger, smoother as you go up the line so what you're tasting is really the best of what we're offering right now. That's a 96 rated wine. That was number 26 out of their global cellar selection. So thousands of wines, not just Pinot Noir. Wine enthusiasts named it 26th in the world. So you've made that's a solid choice.
I know. It is
for a Wednesday.
Hey, a very special Wednesday because you're here, and that's why I did it.
Thank you so much.
I love it.
This is so much fun.
Yeah, it is fun. I just wanted to, so we already mentioned, I want to make sure that we mention that we can go out and see you with reservations for picnics. Saturday, you said again, 12 and.
Yes, and picnics are not required. Right. So, it's optional, bring your own picnic if you like. So everything's outdoors right now. All the tables are spaced a minimum of 20 feet apart. So you're really in your own bubble, so to speak, with whomever you bring with you. We can accommodate up to 6 people per group, and we're pouring a flight of wine. So whether you have a picnic or not, there's a flight available for you, and that's 5 wines. And the way we're doing that so that people feel comfortable and happy is we actually assign you a table. We have huge signs with letters. It looks like Sesame Street a little bit. So you're at table D, and we say, park where you can see the giant letter D. And then I know it's hilarious, right? So you stay in your car while we mask and glove up and bring out to your table a set of flasks that coordinate with a tasting card that tells you everything about the wines. And so then you can pour amongst your group, and they're appropriately sized for however many people you have with you. And so it's sort of gamified in a way and participatory, and people are really enjoying it. And then when you're finished, we check you out at our touchless drive-through. So we have a little kiosk where you can pay at a distance, pop your trunk, and we put it in your car for you. So it's sort of like a janky McDonald's in a way, but it's.
No, I kind of like it. It's really good at McDonald's.
Well, yeah, I wish, right? I wish I could get my wine at a McDonald's drive-through, but it's, we set it up to try to help people get a little bit of a respite from the stress of, should you go out? Shouldn't you go out? How should we do it in a way that really makes people comfortable? Because for us, the summer has always been about sharing the joy and the beauty of our farm. And we felt terrible that we had to lock that gate for 3 months and not allow anyone on the property. And so when we started to open back up, we did it in such a way that everything is controlled, but the rules aren't the first thing you see. The first thing you see is the beauty and the joy and the fun. But to enable that, we'll send you a list of rules on email and you read them. And, we're just trying our best to give people access to joy and put that joy first.
And I think I know, having those same concerns and fears as other people have, being able to get out and do something that's a little bit normal, but within the confines of doing that, it's really important. And I'm thankful that we can do that with business owners, give back and be there for our business owners, because we as consumers really want to be able to do that, but we need to be able to do it safely. And that it's just the world we live in. So that's
we really appreciate everybody's support. I mean, our club and our regular customers, as well as people we've never met before, wander in on a Saturday, because the drive-through is open too, regardless of whether you have reservations. So you can come in and enjoy the farm and take a walk and buy some wine and, just be a part of what we're trying to do here. And we welcome people.
That's awesome. I'm sure they love it. Your place is gorgeous. And before we go, I just wanted to mention, we threw Steve's name out there.
Should we tell them who Steve is?
We really should probably tell them who Steve is.
Yes. So while I am the face and the mouth of Styring Vineyards, Steve Styring is the co-owner with me and principal winemaker. So he makes all of the critical decisions about farming, as well as the making of the wine. But he very much prefers to be behind the camera instead of in front of it. However, if you do come out and visit, he is happy to, visit with you from a safe distance away from your table and answer any questions that you have. This has been tough on him. He really likes to talk about the wine one-on-one. He doesn't love to do camera stuff. I was just going to
say, Steve has a lot to say. If you ask him questions, he will tell you everything, which is so important because you guys do this sustainably. I mean, there's a lot to it. So it's really great to be able to go out there and hopefully someday again, we'll get to do an actual real big event. Like
I hope so too.
Several years back. So you know how much that means to me. So
I hope so too.
We'll be able to do that and keep everybody safe. And so thank you so much for talking with us today. And we will definitely be out to the vineyard soon.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thanks. You too.